Have your speed drill booklets out and at the ready. We're going to be doing speed test 12 today, multiplication box. Paige, make sure that paddle's on the floor. We don't want to knock it over as you, in a great blaze of speed, go working these multiplication problems. You'll have 2.5 minutes to solve the multiplication box. We've seen one of these before. Let's see if we flip back, speed test 3 had one of these multiplication boxes. So the goal then is to do better than we did on speed test 3, because that would be improvement. Obviously, if you get 100 on speed test 3, we want another 100 today. But otherwise, let's see if we can do better than speed test 3. Again, you don't have to take these in order. Go with the columns or rows you feel most comfortable with. 2.5 minutes, and you may begin. Stop. Pencils off your desks. Pens out. And exchange with the person behind you, person in the back. Bring yours up to the front. Exchange with the person behind you, person in the back. Bring yours up to the front. Make sure you bring yours to class. All right, sign your name at the bottom of the page as the grader in pen. You also forgot a pen?
Oh.
Sign your name at the bottom as the grader in pen. Again, pencils should be off your desks.
Savvy wood.
All right, and these are 2 points each. 2 points each. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read each row. If it's wrong, just put a slash through the number. And then at the end of each row, write the total number wrong. That way, when it comes to the end, you're not having to count all the individual X's. Make sense? Or slashes. The 7 row first. 63, 14, 42, 56, 28, 21, 84, 49, 35, 77. Put the total number wrong at the end of the row. Hopefully minus 0, but whatever that number is, put minus that many at the end of the row. Yes, ma'am.
And if you aren't sure, you just put a question mark, right?
If you're not sure, mark it wrong and put a question mark, and that way I'll know to look at it and give it a second look. Yes, sir?
So if they got some wrong, do you do -2, -2 like that?
Just count the number wrong for now. So the number. So if they miss 3 of them, just put -3. Don't put -6 yet. Okay, next row, beginning with the 5. 45, 10, 30, 40, 20, 15, 60, 35, 25, 55. I assume for most of us, that was our strongest row. All right, most of us learned to count by fives in kindergarten and elementary school. So for most of us, that was a good row for us. The next row might have been our hardest row, the 12 row. Let's see how we did on that one. 108, 24, 72, 96, 48, 36, 144, 84, 60, 132. All right, the 8 row. 72, 16, 48, 64, 32, 24, 96, 56, 40, 88. And the 9 row. 81, 19, 18, what am I talking about? 19, wow. Let's go with 18 there. I don't know. Who wrote this answer key? 18. Okay. I'll say, you can't get a 9 on 19. What are we talking about? All right, let's try that again. So, 81, 18, 54, 72, 36, 27, 108, 63, 45, 99. All right, now, count up the total number wrong. You've got 5 minus numbers. Add up all the minus wrong, multiply by 2, and subtract from 100. So 2 points each. 2 points each. So figure the total number times 2. Subtract that from 100. If you're not sure, just mark it wrong, Luciana, and I will check it and determine myself. So if you're not sure, just mark it wrong for now. That way, if anything, the grade goes up when I grade it. And put the score on there. Put the score on the score blank. Also, put the score next to where it says Speed Drill 12. We just have 2 more this quarter. Yes, ma'am.
You said that one wrong, that is minus 2, right?
Right. All right, put the score in the score blank. And pass it forward to the person. If you're at the front, carry it to the back. If you're at the front of the row, carry it to the back of the row. Otherwise, pass it forward to the owner. And owners, take a look at your scores. Owners, take a look at your scores, and let's see how we did. All right, any hundreds? If we have hundreds, we should be pretty sure of that one. Everything's perfect, okay? How about A's? You missed 5 or fewer. You made an A. Good, several of you. B's, still pretty respectable there. Good. All right, pass those forward if you would, please, putting yours on top. Pass them forward, putting yours on top. I'll take a look at it. I regrade everything. So, yeah, if you think they misgraded something, I'll take care of it, I promise. I regrade it all. All right, if you would take out your textbooks, turn to page 78. Your homework was on page 78. And you did the homework section 1 through 9. You also have some homework just across the page on page 79. We'll take a look at that also in just a moment. Pages 78, 79. We're going to start by looking at the homework section, though, on page 78, but you did do 36 through 39 at the bottom of the next page over. Good. Good. Bueno. Si. Ah. Yeah. Nice. Mm. 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 All right, let's take a look at this together. Number 1, you were getting tickets to a soccer match. They're normally $100, but you got a 42% off Groupon deal. Well, first of all, what's the amount of discount on these soccer tickets? Paige? $42. And so therefore, if you're saving $42, because remember, discount class is what you don't have to pay. The sale price is what you do pay. How much do you end up paying for the soccer ticket? $58, which if they're normally $100, that's a pretty good deal. For a bicycle helmet, normally $25, you're getting 10% off. What's the discount amount? Griffin?
$2.50.
$2.50. So what's the sale price?
$22.50.
$22.50. Yeah, it's not saving much, but every little bit helps, right? Buy yourself a candy bar with the $2.50 you saved. The good old days. You can buy 2 candy bars. But anyway, a bookshelf normally costs $300. You got a 65% off deal. How much are you saving on this bookshelf, Sam?
Sounds like I got 18.
No. Kirsten?
$195.
$195. You're saving a bunch on that bookshelf. So you're only spending how much then, Kirsten?
$105.
Well, not 105. $105. Good. Save that and for if there's any cents to go with it. Let's go back to Sam for a trumpet that normally sells for $470. You're getting 25% off. How much are you saving?
$12.75.
Something's still not right here. Let's see. What did you get, Bryson?
$117.50.
$117.50. And so the sale price is
$352.50.
$352.50. Let's take a look at, I'm going to go back to the, we'll look at the trumpet, Sam. 25%, first of all, you have to make that into a decimal. What's the decimal, Sam?
0.25.
0.25. Okay, we're going to multiply that by the 470. Now, Sam, are you trying to get creative with your decimal point, knocking off zeros and stuff like that, or are you just multiplying straight up?
This I should multiply it straight up.
You just multiply straight up. Okay, I was just curious. I could show it either way, but let's just show it multiplying straight up. So check your partial products. Can you see where your math work is?
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at this then, Sam, 5 times 0, 0, 5 times 7, 35, 5 times 4 plus 3, 23. We gotta make sure before we multiply the 2, we gotta put a 0 placeholder first, or an X, or both, right? I've seen a lot of different combinations. Then 2 times 0, 2. 2 times 7, 14. 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9. Okay, did you have those partial products?
Try to look for it.
Okay, so that would be the first thing, is did we multiply correctly? Now the next big thing though, I think, and this is the bigger deal, how many decimal places should I have in my answer?
2.
Only 2. 1, 2. And that's where I get the $117.50.
Probably time multiple.
Multiplication error. Okay, be careful, be careful. Number 5, they didn't ask for the discount, which means we can be a little bit lazy here. We could, for number 5, find 15% of 20, get that discount, and then subtract it. We could do that, but there's a shortcut. If you're getting 15% off, class, then you ain't paying full price. What percent, class, means full price? 100%. What percent means full price, class? 100%. But if you're getting 15% off, you ain't paying 100% anymore. Now you're only paying what percent, class? 85%. 15% off, subtract that from your 100%, means you're now only paying 85%. Now you don't have to do it this way, but this would be the shortcut way to multiply the 0.85 times the $20. Now of course there's some things you can do with the decimal and stuff here, but that would be the shortcut. Now, it's not wrong if you multiply the $20 times 0.15. You'd end up getting 3.00 for your answer, then we'd subtract that from the $20 to get $17. But you just go ahead and get the $17 straight up if you did it this way. How many did it with the multiplying by the 85%, the 0.85? How many multiplied by 15% and then subtracted the $3? You still got 17 bucks. All right, questions on these zoo tickets? Questions on zoo tickets? All right, how about number 6? T-shirts on sale for 40% off. They're usually 25 bucks. You could do it a couple different ways. What did you get for your answer, though, on number 6? And I'm going to come back to Sam for redemption.
$14.40.
Which way did you do it? Did you multiply by the percent you pay, or did you multiply by the percent you save and then subtract? Not sure? Tell you what, which way would you like to do right now? Do you want to multiply by what the percent you save and then subtract, or do you just want to multiply by the percent you pay?
The first one.
The first way, okay. So we're going to multiply by what percent?
40.
40%, which is a decimal, is
0.40.
0.40. So we're going to multiply the 25 times the 0.40. I'm going to hang the 0 for now. 4 times 5?
20.
4 times 2 plus 2.
10.
How many decimal places?
2.
2. All right, so this is what you
Oh.
saved, because that's your discount, right? $10?
Yeah.
But how much were the t-shirts originally?
$25.
They were $25. So if you save 10, that means you pay how much?
10. 15.
15, there we go. 5 minus 0 is 5, 2 minus 1 is 1. So we should have gotten $15. How many have $15? What percent are you paying, by the way, class?
60.
60%. If you're saving 40, you're paying 60, and you could have done it that way also. Number 7, letter A, you had to find 15% of 96, Corey. What'd you get for 7A?
14.4.
Sam, I think that's the answer you gave me a second
It's
ago.
probably you.
14.4 is correct, because that's what you said. I bet you were looking at the wrong answer. How about letter B? 240% of 16. We've got to have something bigger than 16, class. All of 16 is 100%. This is 240%. It's going to be bigger than 16. What do we get, Elaine?
38.4.
38.4, and then 6% of 1,520, Luciana. 91.20, or just 91.2. Number 8, letter A, finding the GCF of 13 and 65. What did you get for that, Jalen?
1.
There is a bigger, greatest common factor. They're not prime to each other. This is sneaky. Griffin? 13. Yeah, 13 is the GCF. And therefore, what's the LCM going to be, Bryson? 65. Yeah, the 65 was the LCM and the 13 was the GCF. Number 9, letter A, you had order of operations. What did you get for 9A, Paige?
28.
28 is correct. How about for 9B, Ben?
15.
15 is correct. Make sure you're staying with me. Was anyone perfect on the homework? You got all these answers right. How many maybe just missed 1 or 2 of them? Are there questions? I've looked at some already, but are there others from the homework we say, I didn't get that, I'm a little confused. Can you please show number blank? Any questions on the homework? All right, look across the page. Michael, good posture. Numbers 36 to 39. Again, they wanted you to first find the discount amount and then find the sale price. So we can't use our shortcut because they are asking for the discount amount. If we're finding that, we might as well just use that method, just subtract once we've got our answer. What did you get for the discount on a $340 rug cleaning package, but it's 25% off? What's the discount, Michael?
$85.
$85. So therefore you pay
$225.
$255. $255 is our sale price. Number 37, a $458 flight is on sale 30% off. That doesn't happen very often. What do we get for the discount, Kirsten?
$137.40.
$137.40, and therefore we pay how much, Kirsten?
$320.60.
Perfectly read. Outstanding job. $320.60. Number 38, an $18 entrance fee for a local park, 60% off. What's the discount, Corey?
$10.80.
And how much are you paying?
$7.20.
I love any sale that's over 50% off, really appeals to me. You're saving more than you spend. That's always a good day. $10.80 saved, you're only paying $7.20. An Alaska trip. Wow, this is a good deal. Normally costs $1,525. That's not the good deal. The good deal is you get 70% off somehow. And they needed to fill some spots on that trip, so they make it ridiculously cheap. And how much are you saving on this trip, Elaine?
$1,067.50.
Good, $1,067.50. You're only paying
$457.50.
good, $457.50. Anyone perfect? 8 for 8 on all those answers. All right, questions on any of them? Do we need to see any of them worked? Yes, ma'am.
39.
Number 39. So what do we, first of all, we need to multiply what two things together?
1,525.7.
Good, and by the way, I like that she said 0.7. Notice she didn't say 0.7 is 0. right? That extra 0, it's just one more thing to remember. Now, is it really that big a deal to hang a 0 and keep the 0? It's not. But in general, right, save yourself some time and trouble, make the decimal shorter, not longer. So when we multiply, right, 7 times 5,
35.
carry the 3, 7 times 2, add the 3,
17.
7 times 5 plus the 1 is,
36.
and then carry the 3, 7 times 1 plus 3 is
10.
10. But there's only one decimal here if we don't take the 0. If we do take the 0, there's 2. Either way, that's where the decimal gets placed. So again, since you didn't have the 0 hanging over there, should have been this. We just have to make it money by slapping the 0 back on it. In this case, it turns out that way. Sometimes it works out where you multiply and start up with a 0 anyway, so you can just go whole numbers. Then we subtract that from the 1525, 0.00. And so we gotta be careful in our borrowing when we get the 457.50. All right, other questions on 36 to 39? All right, flip back to page 82, or flip ahead rather to page 82. And I want you to do the review, 15 through 20, page 82. The review, numbers 15 through 20.
Thank you.
Finished? That's fine. A couple people already finished. Take another minute or so to be finishing up these problems. Make sure we're finding the discount and the sale price. So right, how much money do you save? Make sure, no, just do it right. How much money are we saving? You can't save 50 if the book only costs 20, right? So how much are we saving? How much are we spending? And extra paper might help because there's not a lot of room to work right there. Let's take a look at these together. Number 15, we have a $20 book. It's on sale for 25% off. What is the discount, first of all? Corey? $5. So what's the sale price going to be?
$15.
$15. Very good. Number 16, we have a $674 appliance, washer, dryer, dishwasher, I don't know, something like that. It's on sale for 30% off. What's the discount, first of all, Luciana?
$202.20.
$202.20. And what's the sale price going to be then?
$471.80.
Good, $471.80, which is still a lot of money, but it's a pretty decent deal there. How many got 15 and 16 both correct? Got both of them right. Questions on 15, 16? Yes, sir.
What was the last answer again?
The last answer was $471.80. All right, any questions on 15 or 16? Let's take a look at number 17. We had to round that off to the nearest hundredth, and then another number to the nearest thousandth. Letter A, what did we get when we round to the nearest hundredth? Jalen? 55.00. The 9 in the thousandths place bumps the 9 in the hundredths place to a 10, which bumps the 9 to a 10, which bumps the 4 to a 5. We keep those two zeros to show we rounded to the hundredths place. 55.00. What about letter B, when we round to the nearest thousand? What do we get for our answer, Sam?
16,000.
16,000. The 6 simply bumps the 5 up to a 6. Change those next three values to zeros. We don't need to keep the decimal or the value after it. Number 18, when we prime factored 500, what did we get, Paige?
5 to the 4th times 2.
No, I think maybe you misread one of your numbers there. Michael?
2 to the 2nd and 5 to the 3rd.
Good. Now, how do we read the second power, class?
Oh, wait, no.
Squared, right? So we should have had a 2 squared. And how do we read the third power, class? Cube. So 2 squared times 5 cubed should have been it. So we should have had 3 5s and 2 2s in our answer. Number 19, when we expand that out and multiply, what do we get for our answer, Bryson?
441.
441 is correct. And number 20, a box of cereal contains 8 raisins for every 30 oat clusters. I have no idea who decided to do the math and investigate that, but whatever. Express the ratio of oat clusters to raisins as a reduced fraction. Page 1's redemption.
30 to 8.
It is initially 30 to 8, but remember, we always want to reduce our ratios down. So take a 2 out of both of those. Anyone? 15 to 4. And it does need to be 15 to 4, by the way. Not 8 to 30, but 30 to 8, because it specifically said oat clusters to raisins. Anyone perfect on the review, the classwork there? Anyone perfect? Anyone just miss one thing? Any questions on those? Yes, ma'am.
15.
Number 15. So the $20 book on sale, 25% off. We're going to multiply the $20 times the 0.25, and you end up getting 2 decimal places, $5. But we then take the $20 list price minus the $5 discount, and that gives us the $15 sale price. All right. Any other questions? All right. Turn over, if you would, in your books to page 80. So turn back to page 80. And you are going to occasionally see different expressions. You're going to see two key expressions in the lesson today: percent more than and percent less than. You'll also see things like in the news, percent higher, percent lower. When people talk about inflation, how many have heard that term in the news or heard your parents talking about it? Maybe done current event on it even, right? Inflation. You heard inflation is such and such percent higher than it was a year ago or 2 years ago or when Donald Trump was president or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And so percent more than, percent higher. What are we talking about? Or if such and such says that the price of gas is now 20% more than it was, whatever. Or my power bill is 60% more than it was 2 years ago. You get the idea. When you hear percent more than what? More than what is normal. And what is normal is 100%. That's normal. So if something's 20% more than that, it's 20%, looking this way, Ben, 20% more than 100%. 100% is all of it, is what it always was, is what's usual. 20% more than would be what percent, class? 120%. Listen, look this way, Michael. You're fidgeting. You're not looking at me. This is a very easy concept if you will look at me and keep your hands still. Percent more than is more than 100%. 20% more than means you add 20% plus 100%. Don't make this hard. 20% plus 100%, class, is what? 120%. What would be 50% more than? 150%. What would be 7% more than? 107%. What would be 18% more than? 118%. Just put 100% on the front of it. Now, what if it were 200% more than? 300%. You just add to 100%. Conversely, percent less than means less than 100%. It's basically like a sale. Remember, we were just doing discounts, right? Well, if we did 30% sale, that's 30% less than the full 100% price. So if we had 30% off, we would pay what percent? 70%. Because you start with the 100, you start with what's standard, and simply take the percent off. So if you look at your textbook at the example problems on page 80, the first problem says what, Michael?
Find 30% more than 50.
Notice what they did first. They took their 100%, they added 30% more, class, to get what new percent? 130%, and then they just multiplied. 1.3, that's your decimal, times the 50. They got 65. Read problem B for us, if you would, Bryson.
Find 20% less than 140.
Since it says less than, class, are we going to add or subtract?
Subtract.
Think more than means add, less than means subtract. So we're going to subtract the 20 from the 100. So what percent are we at now, class? 80. And then we multiply 0.8, that's the decimal, times the 140. You see how to work with percent more than or percent less than. If it says more than, class, you add it to 100%. If it says less than, you subtract it from 100%. Look at the next example problem. Example 2.5b. This is a little bit longer problem. And this is not Corey as in the guy Corey. This is a girl Corey. So they spell it different when it's a girl. But Corey, read about girl Corey. This isn't him, Corey. This is a different Corey.
Corey invested $260 in a savings account. A year later, the account had 8% more than the original investment. How much money did Corey have in her account at the end of the year?
Underline the phrase 8% more than. Underline that phrase, 8% more than. When you see that, class, we know we got to do what? Add it to 100%. So what is 8% more than, class? 108%, which is a decimal. As you see there is the 1.08. So just multiply the 1.08 times the $260, and that gives how much her account is worth now. That make sense? Everyone understand percent more than, percent less than? Not too hard? Good. Turn to page 82. Turn back to page 82. I want you to do 1 through 90 odd. Page 82. 1 through 9, the odd. If you knock it off with a decimal place. Yeah, same rules apply. Anytime you're multiplying a percent that's been changed to a decimal, you can always knock off zeros with decimal places. So yes, you can continue to use that shortcut if you've been using it. No, that's not what we're doing. We're adding this. If it says percent more than, we just trill this. You have got to pay attention and stay with me. 20% more than means what percent? No, more than means what percent? 120%. Then, Sue, what you're going to do first is you're going to write 120%, then make it a decimal. Then multiply that by the 140. Does that make sense? If it's less than, you're going to subtract it from the 100%. Get your new percent, multiply the new percent times the number. Does that make sense? Move the camera. And Elaine, take the first one to the board. What's the problem? You spilled what? Spilled chocolate. How do you spill chocolate? Finished? Take the second one to the board. Are you finished yet? Take the third one to the board. Corey, question or finished? Last one at the front board. Don't use your finger to erase, please. Luciana finished? Sideboard. All right, pencils down. Even if you're not finished with all of these, let's take a look at these together. And for 20% more than 140, class, what new percent do we get? 120%. We add the 20 to the 100, which makes as a decimal 1.2. So Elaine had the first one. Elaine multiplied the 1.2 times 140, got 168. That is correct. How many had 168 for number 1? Number 3, 15% less, than 460. So whoever had this one, we shouldn't have added to 100% class. We should have subtracted. So what new percent should we have used, class? 85%. So we should have multiplied the 460 by 0.85. And let's see, who did that? Let's see. You got it, Jalen? Oh, you're the one who did this. Oh, okay, so you were confessing that it was your bad. Who did it correctly? Who did it correctly? Had the correct answer here. Uh-oh. How many at your seats pulled a Jalen? You did the same thing. Uh-oh. Less than. Make sure we subtract. What should we have had for the answer, Michael? You said you did it correctly?
319.
Ooh, I think you might be dyslexic.
391.
391. When we multiply it out, we get 391 for answer. How many had 391? Okay, a couple of you did. All right. For the next one, 80% more than, class. What's our new percent supposed to be? 180%, which is a decimal, becomes a 1.8. And good job. Who had this one? Michael. The good job. 45 is our answer. How many had 45 for number 5? All right, looking at the next one. 74% less than, class. What do we have to do? Subtract it from 100%. So what's our new percent? 26% or 0.26. Great job. And the 54.6 is correct. Who had this one? Corey, good job. How many had 54.6 like Corey did? Excellent, outstanding. Let me see if I can show the sideboard. If not, I'll just talk it through and see if I can show that there. You're good, Corey. It's kind of a weird angle there on your screen, but let's take a look over here. 12% less, class. What do we have to do when we see less than? Subtract from 100%, and that's what this person did. This was Luciana, right? Got the 88%, which is 0.88. Multiplied, she got 677.6. I can't do that in my head, but the book says it's right. How many got 677.6 for your answer on number 9? All right, questions on these? Do we understand a little bit better now that we've tried it? Even if we didn't get them all right, do we understand a little bit better now? That's always the goal. Do the evens. Go back and do 2 through 10, the evens now. We just had 5 people at the board. Are there 5 people who didn't just go to the board who'd like a chance to go to the board and work one of these? Let me have Ben take the first one at the board. Let me have Paige, was that a volunteering hand? Take the second one at the board. Griffin, take the third one at the board. I need 2 more volunteers. You were just at the board. Kirsten, the last one on the front board. Take the last one on the front board, and 1 more volunteer. All right, Bryson, take the one on the side board there. The rest of you working at your seats. If you finish early, tackle those word problems. If you finish early, tackle those word problems. We're going to look at those tomorrow, but it's okay if you get a little bit of a head start on them now. Okay, determine your new percent, change that to a decimal, and then multiply by the other number. Okay, Ben, head back to your seat now. You're not playing around. All right. Once you finish, head back to your seat. Work on the ones that you didn't just do. There's no sense redoing the one you just did on the board. Maybe the other one's question, Jalen? Why don't you call it lunch? If you need to go to the down the hall and get a drink real quick, you may go very quickly to get a drink. Yes, ma'am.
For the first word problem,
We're going to go over it tomorrow, so for now, just do your best. See if you can figure it out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what'd you do there, Bryson? Well, I'll tell you what, for sake of time, Bryson, go ahead and have a seat. Just leave what you've got up there, and we'll look at that here in just a moment. All right, pencils down. Even if you're not finished with all of these, let's take a look at how you did on these. Let's see how the people at the board did on these as well. We have 40% more than. So the new percent is going to be, class? 140%, which Ben turned into the decimal 1.4. He multiplied by the 250. I'm a little confused. 250 only has 1 0, so we should have only hung 1 0 here. Or canceled the 0 with the decimal. Either one would have worked here. So I think you might have had 1 0 too many, and then we used 1 decimal. So I think we should have actually had 350 for our answer. And yes, that is correct, 350. So right idea, just be careful with the zeros. Just hang in the 1 0. How many had 350 for number 2? By the way, let me say this. On a quiz or test, if all I see is 3,500, he gets it all wrong. But if I see that he found the correct percent and made it the correct decimal, he's going to get at least half the credit. This is why it helps. Make sure you show your work on a quiz or test. Quick question.
You said 140, so that's what's the other 0.
Oh, I see. You just put 1 up here and 1 down there. Gotcha. The only thing is, does this 0 affect anything? Is there a difference between 1.4 and 1.40? No. And so that's why this 0 doesn't need to be hung. It can just be literally dropped completely. But yeah. Or if you do that, remember there's 1, or the other way, stay with me, is there's 2 decimal places then. So you come in twice to get the 350. All right, so if you hang that 0 as well, which I wouldn't, make sure you come in the second time for the 2 decimal places. But don't put them next to each other. Put 1 here, 1 there. Look at the next one. We had 62% less than. Good job finding that. That's 38% or 0.38. And 209 is correct. I think that was Paige. Great job. How many had 209 like Paige did? Look at the next one. 35% less than. Good job subtracting. It's 65% or 0.65. And 546 is correct. Whose was this? Griffin. Great job. How many had the same answer as Griffin? Look at the next one. We have 28% more than, make that 128% or 1.28. We multiply to get 50. Oh, 3 plus 9 is 12 plus 6 is 18. So 58.88 is correct. Was this Kirsten?
Yeah.
How many have 58.88? And again, all the rest of the work was great. Just be careful on your multiplication. And then we'll swing it over here to look at the sideboard just real quickly. Bryson started off a little bit wrong and caught himself and just ran out of time to fix it. But let's take a look very quickly. 94% more than. I think you did less than the first time.
No, I just did.
You just forgot to add it at all. Okay, so we just like, oh, that's right, I got to add it. So 1.94 is what it should have been, right? 194%. He was in the process of multiplying it out. Should have had 1,726.6. 1,726.6. How many perfect on all the ones that you did? Perfect on all the ones that you did. All right. Homework for this evening is to do page 83, numbers 1 to 16. Page 83 in the homework section, do numbers 1 through 16. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and you are dismissed.